They came to the other side of the sea, to the country of the Gerasenes. And when Jesus had stepped out of the boat, immediately there met him a man out of the tombs, a man with an unclean spirit. He lived among the tombs, and no one could bind him any more, not even with a chain. For he had often been bound with shackles and chains, but he had wrenched the chains apart, and he broke the shackles in pieces. No one had the strength to subdue him. Night and day among the tombs and on the mountains, he was always crying out and cutting himself with stones. And when he saw Jesus from afar, he ran and fell down before him. And crying out with a loud voice, he said, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I adjure you by God, do not torment me." For he was saying to him, "Come out of the man, you unclean spirit." And Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" He replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." And he begged him earnestly not to send them out of the country. Now a great herd of pigs was feeding there on the hillside. And they begged him, saying, "Send us into the pigs, let us enter them." So he gave them permission, and the unclean spirits came out and entered the pigs, and the herd, numbering about 2,000, rushed down the steep bank into the sea and drowned in the sea. In this account, we see Jesus fulfilling what he had stated before in chapter 3. Then again, we have several accounts of people after Jesus casting demons out in the book of Acts, and even some commanded to do so in the Gospels. So exorcisms themselves are not proof of divinity, right? The point is not null and void because of the conversation Mark records between the demoniac and Jesus. Notice what Mark records the demoniac saying to Jesus. "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I adjure you, by God, do not torment me." This was in response to Jesus, who had already been commanding the demons within him to come out of the man. What is interesting is that the legion within are begging Jesus not to torment them. This would not be something that man has the power to do. They do not have that kind of power. In fact, exorcisms within the Bible are done in the name of Jesus by the power of the Spirit. The demons are afraid of Jesus. Why would they be if he was merely a man? Not only that, but they ask permission to enter the pigs, of which he grants. Either Jesus is the head demon, or he is God. We already saw in chapter 3, Jesus making his case that he is not, nor is he from the devil. What then are we left with? The most reasonable conclusion is that Jesus is thought to be God. After all, they referred to him as the Son of the Most High God. We can even go a little further. Jesus says in John 10:30, "The Father and I are one." And Jesus' brother James says in chapter 2, verse 19 of his epistle, "You believe that God is one. You do well. The demons also believe, and they shudder." From this, and in conjunction with the passage in Mark 5, it is clear that the author of Mark believed that Jesus is in fact God.